Chapter 4, Problem 7. Hello chemistry fans, and welcome back to Chemistry 1032 problem solving session here at the Academic Success Center on Broward College North Campus. I am your host, Dr. Russell Betts, and I'll be leading you through this problem. Looks like today we are interested in mass numbers. So, problem 7a. Determine the mass number of an atom of zinc that has 24 neutrons. Well, before we get too far, let's just write down the equation for mass number. Mass number equals the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. There we go. That's how we do it. That's all it is, a simple addition problem. But now we know from the question we have 24 neutrons, so we can write that down. The number of neutrons, 24. We get that from the problem. It's pretty clearly written there in the problem. The trouble is we don't know how many protons we have. It's not written in the problem. So we have to figure out how we're going to figure that out. Well, we know it's the atom zinc. So on the periodic table, there's this thing called the atomic number that is equal to the number of protons. Wait a minute. If we had a periodic table, which I happen to have right here, we could figure out the number of protons. So let's find zinc. There's our buddy zinc right there. According to the periodic table, zinc has an atomic number of 30. So if the atomic number is 30, the number of protons is 30. So that's how we figure that out. All right, excellent. Let's write that down. Number protons equal 30. Excellent. So now we know the number of neutrons and the number of protons. Sorry, I abbreviated protons, P there. Not a big deal. That should have been number of protons. Sometimes people abbreviate it P. So the number of neutrons is 24. The number of protons is 30. So we can plug it into the formula. Mass number equals number of protons, 30, plus number of neutrons, 24, equals. Well, we don't need a calculator, but just for the sake of the video, we'll dig out the calculator and we'll just type in the numbers, because I'm sure that's what students are doing. So let's just type it in, and it's probably a good idea to do that on exams, just so you don't make silly mistakes. So here we go, 30 plus 24 equals 54, of course, 54. The mass number is 54. Again, you didn't have to type it in the calculator, you could have done that in your head, but some good advice on an exam, just punch it in your calculator real quick. You don't want to make a silly mistake on an exam. It'll cost you a couple of points. So just go ahead and I know that you might not think it's a smart thing to do, but type it in the calculator and just make sure. Don't let yourself lose points for silly mistakes. All right, part B. If an atom of sulfur has a mass number of 32, how many neutrons will it have? So now we're kind of working backwards. We know the mass number. We want to know how many neutrons there are. So let's just write down the equation. Mass number equals number protons plus the number of neutrons. All right, so now we need to know the number of neutrons now. So this equation is still valid, we just have to rearrange it a little bit. So the number of neutrons is now going to equal the mass number minus the number of protons. Okay, so that's just a quick rearrangement of the formula. Now, we know the mass number. So mass number, it's written right here, 32. We know it's sulfur, so we know we can grab the periodic table. Here's the periodic table. We know that the atomic number, of sulfur is 16. So 16 is the atomic number, which is also the number of protons. So every element of sulfur has 16 protons. Okay, so we know, this is all the numbers we need. So the number of neutrons equals the mass number, 32, minus the number of protons, 16, equals, I think you can do that in your head as well, but again, don't make silly mistakes. 32 minus 16 equals, of course, 16. So the mass number of this atom of sulfur is 32. That means it must have 16 neutrons. All right? And that's how you would solve these two problems. Now, I hope this has been informative and helpful to you. However, if you still have issues, you still have difficulties figuring out these problems, please do not hesitate to contact one of the tutors here at the Academic Success Center. They are here to help you. If you still have problems or you want to come and talk to your professor, please come on by during office hours and we'll be more than happy to help you. And with that, I'd like to wish you good luck and good chemistry.